All right, so are you withdrawn, right? Specifically, it's going to go for women too, but this is specifically for men because I have a teenage son as they start getting older, and then I'm dealing with, different men in my life. I have brothers. I have, my father, he passed away, rest in peace, but I dealt with this with him. I don't have a significant other, but I think, by the grace of God, I have a little bit of insight into the male psyche. I know that's the first thing women or men like to say, you ain't got no man, you don't know. Just because I ain't got one don't mean I don't understand them. You can seek understanding through just having empathy and asking the Holy Spirit to help you to understand. Because just because you ain't got no spouse there, you still deal with the opposite sex or whatever you like. You get what I mean, right? So I'm not talking about in the forms of like a marriage or anything like that. If I would to talk about something like that, I will always bring a credible source of someone that's been married or even some text from the, from scriptures from the Bible that talk about that specifically. And then I build upon that. So I'm not coming from personal. Obviously, I don't have personal experience. So you're like, what are you babbling about? You just said all of that to say what? Male communication. I have a teenager, and as they start getting older, they start wanting to fit in and stuff like that or whatever. And I could kind of see where it starts developing now that I'm dealing with a teenager. I can see how it starts developing, especially in our men of color. I am mixed with several things, but I'm predominantly African American, and I'm proud of that. Proud of all parts of me and myself as well. I don't no parts of them. None of the Caucasian part, none of the Asian part. I love all parts of myself. But as having a son that is predominantly African American, a lot of times I'm just dealing with one of the school officials. They're nice and they're cool, but even them asking questions, like they seem like they were a little bit surprised to know that my son has a full gamut of emotions. They kept asking about anger. Is he angry? Is he violent? I'm like, why do y'all keep asking that? Like, my son don't like. Then it had me to start thinking, okay? All right? And then I'm going to say I got to download. The Holy Spirit told me something, so I'm going to say, okay? Because it just came, I don't know where it came from. So, Holy Spirit, thank you. Okay? Again, test the spirits. Because it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Go test it in the scriptures and see if it's right. Don't ever, you listen, I'm not perfect. But when it comes to men and communication, especially at this age, or even if at any age, unfortunately, the older that they get, it's harder to kind of pull them back from this. But God is a miracle worker. He can do anything. And then if that's your assignment, if that's your husband, if that's your assignment, if that's your, baby father, and that's your assignment to a certain degree, right? Because it's only co-parenting. If that's your brother and that's your assignments, basically like prayer assignments, people you pray for, your levels of covenant you have with them, then, go for it, right? So we have it to where men are either withdrawn, they suppress, and then they regress. I'm going to say it again. They're withdrawn, they suppress, and then they regress.